samples. Okay, so we could take only samples. So totally we had 310 samples from all the canal systems, right? Maybe around 47% here and 53% from here, right? Farmers, okay. And we did, this is the sampling distribution, but there are large number of tens of thousands of farmers. We cannot approach each one of them, but only we took sample. I hope that you know what is sampling, etc. Okay, small number of people from a large number of population. Okay, so 310 farmers, 148 from new canal system, and the remaining farmers from old canal system. So the entire river basin is covered through our sampling procedure. Okay. Okay. Now, of course, I did a contingent valuation. I don't know whether
yes.
Yeah, you people are familiar with contingent valuation study, survey method. So I did my PhD on that, and therefore I know what are the problems with this contingent valuation method, how to utilize it to elicit information, all those kinds of things. So we basically used contingent valuation method. What is contingent valuation method? Suppose a farmer has surplus water. Ask this farmer whether he has first of all got some surplus water. What do you mean by surplus water? The farmer may not be willing to cultivate his land this time, right? In the old canal system, right? Therefore, he may be willing to sell that water. So, with this farmer, we asked one question, namely, how much are you willing to accept as compensation for selling your water? In a cloth, in a garment shop, we go, and the seller is willing to accept some amount for selling the cloth. As buyer, we are willing to pay some amount for getting the cloth, right? So basically, willingness to pay and willingness to accept. Among the sellers of water, we asked, how much are you willing to accept as compensation? Among the buyers of water, how much are you willing to pay for getting additional water? Okay, so this is what is the kind of scenario actually, right? This is basically voluntary exchange. To make the scenario more realistic, we asked them, in case you could save some amount of water equivalent to 10 irrigation. 10 irrigation means, maybe, you may have to irrigate now. After 1 week, again the crop will have to be irrigated. Maybe after 1 week, again the crop. So 10 irrigation during 3 months time period. Okay, if you could save that water, right, and willing to sell that water, how much are you willing to accept as compensation, right? Similarly, the new canal system farmers who want water, we asked them, how much are you willing to pay for this water, 10 irrigation, in case you are made available with the 10 irrigation of water. Okay, so this is the kind of scenario. Okay. So basically all sample farmers, it was randomly assigned across all the farming community, all the sample 310 farmers. First of all, we asked them whether you are willing to buy water or sell water. So that was the kind of question. So what we found was that all sample farmers in the LBP, they were willing to buy water because that is where the scarcity prevails. And almost all farmers in this area, they are willing to sell water because many farmers, they are no longer interested in doing agriculture. Many farmers have sold their lands for real estate purpose, construction of building, etc. Many farmers don't want to cultivate their land for short span of time, maybe next season, right? So these are the farmers who are willing to sell water. Anyway, they have already got riparian right, their entitlement, right? So that entitlement is there with them. So therefore, they may be willing to sell that. Okay. So what we did was this one. A repeated game theoretic framework was used. What is this repeated game theoretic framework? It's very simple. I have visited some of these, shopping malls here. But here, bargaining is not a dominant kind of activity. Do you bargain in shops? Bargaining means suppose suppose you want to buy one sweater, okay? The price of the sweater is $1,000, right? So the seller says it's $1,000. Back in India, what we do? Will you give us for $700?